So basically you can raise. And today is the last topic. The last topic is basically the streams. Okay, what is streams and everything that we will see today. And also before starting streams, we will see like we have created our APIs, right? Like MediServe API application. So this API, we will see how to consume that API on the front end side. Okay, that would be in a plain JavaScript. Okay, we'll see how we can consume it. Okay, now yeah, so this is our API, right? So for this API, we need to start the database. I have already started a database, I guess. So yeah, the database is already started. So I'll just start the application npm start. Database connection is successful. Okay. And we already have a lot of APIs here. Okay, so it's like users API, medicines API. Okay, so let's go to the routes. Users API. So we have user routes where we have get all users, search user, get user by ID, post user, okay, login. We have a lot of APIs here. Okay, so first we'll just understand how to perform API integration, or how will we do the API integration on the front end side. Okay, I'll just do it for one or two APIs. You can imitate the same thing for rest of the application. Okay. Now let's consider that this is your backend application, okay, which is built on Node.js. Okay, and you have a front end application. So I'll just create a separate folder for this. Let's create front end, and in this front end, I'm going to you can use any like simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well. Okay, that is also fine. Okay, or if you have, let's say, Angular application or React application, that will also do. Okay, but Angular or React will have their own things to integrate with your backend APIs. Okay, like if you are using Angular, then you can use services, HTTP service, HTTP client service for that purpose. And if you're using React, then you can use fetch function, which is also available for our plain JavaScript. So let's see how we can do that in a plain JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, so we can create a simple HTML file inside this. Let's say there is an index.html file. Okay, it's HTML. Let's call it as index. um, index. Now let's call, okay, the medicine API. Okay, we already have a medicines API, which you basically, if you call localhost colon, it's 4000, right? Yeah, localhost colon 4000 slash medicines, then you will get all the medicines. Okay. So let's see how we can call this API here. So first of all, we need to use script tag. Okay, so you can do it on the same page, or you can create a separate JavaScript file, and there you can do it. Okay, that's up to you. Okay, so I'll do it here itself. What you can do is you can create a separate JavaScript file, or let's do the separate thing itself. Okay, so I'll just create a main.js file. Okay, and I'll include this main.js file here. An src dot slash main.js. Okay, everything that we will do in the main.js, so it's actually linked with your index.html. Now here, let's say I want to create a function which will which we will call later on here, main function. Okay, this main function, what it will do, it will call our API for medicines. Okay, and then it will display the medicines in your index.html file. Let's say that we have a UL tag here. Okay, this UL tag has ID medicine list. Okay, so inside this UL tag, I want to display medicines in a li tag. Okay, so what you will do, first of all, you need to call the API so that we can display it here. Okay, so first I'll just use console.log to display whether my main function is getting called or not. Main called. Now to run this, You can run it on any server. If you're using Node.js, you can also use Node.js, okay, for this purpose. Or simply you can um, use even a simple JavaScript file, okay, or you can simply go live by using this go live. Okay, we have a live server, so you can simply start this on your index.html and you'll find index.html is running. Okay, inspect it, and in the console you will see main called. Okay, now we need to call the API. How we call the API? So to call the API, first of all, we need the API URL. So we have the API URL, that is, let's write it as const URL equals to http colon slash slash localhost colon 4000, and it's actually medicines. Okay, this is the URL we have for to get all the medicines. Now to call this URL, we need to call an Ajax call. Okay, we have a function in JavaScript, which is we call it as fetch function. Okay, fetch function can be used to call any URL or any API. Okay, in a asynchronous way. Okay, it actually gives you the promise. It actually returns the promise, right? So you can call here. You can see the input URL. So you need to specify the URL here. So it's a URL. Okay, and bus. This will basically call it, but fetch returns a promise. Okay, if you hover on the fetch, you will see it returns a promise. That means you need to call dot then and dot catch. Okay, but as we know, we also know the async await pattern, so we'll simply use async await here. Async await. Okay, so fetch is a promise, so I'll call await, and we will get a response here. This response is actually not a entire response. We also we want to get a JSON, because the data which will come is in JSON format. Okay, so we want to convert that into a JSON format. So what we will do is we will call response.json function. Okay, but if you see the JSON function, its return type is promise. Okay, that means this JSON also returns you promise. Okay, that means you again need to call await here. Okay, and then you will get the data. Okay, whatever the data will be received is of type any. That means whatever the data will be. Okay, now I'll just console log it and check whether I'm able to receive the data or not. Save this and see. Okay, now if you refresh the page, you will see that my URL is getting blocked. Okay, you can see that access to fetch localhost 4000 medicines from origin 127.0.0.0 colon 5500 has been blocked by CORS Palace policy. No access control allow origin header is present on the request as resource. What does this mean is basically browser. Okay, on a browser, if you try to access a website or URL with different domain, okay, which is not your own domain, if you try to access a different domain, then browser doesn't allow that. Okay, that's called as cross origin. Okay, you're trying to call a different origin which is not related to your own origin. Okay, and this is for security purpose, this is not allowed. Okay, then how can you call the API? Now, to call the API, the control is actually on the server side. Okay. So client can only call the API, but the call should happen or not, that is decided by the server. Okay. Basically, server can allow that domain, okay, or your domain. Server will allow your domain to be called or not. Okay. Now, for that purpose, you need to enable CORS. Now, where you will enable the CORS? Okay, because as you know, server we can only allow the URL to be called to that server. Okay, or client, which client to be called. So we have our server on Mediserve. Okay, so it's server.js. Okay, so here we need to make some changes. Now, what change you will make? Okay, so here what I will do is I'll open the command prompt and close the application for now. You need to install one package called as CORS. Okay, CORS is a package. CORS npm you can type. You'll find a CORS npm package here. Okay, Is a Node.js package for providing CORS options, enable CORS. Okay, so you just need to install CORS using npm install CORS. So we'll install that. Once CORS is installed, then how can you enable it? You just need to import CORS and use the CORS function. Okay, but that's it, and you will be able to see, or you will be able to call the function or API. So we'll say CORS equals to require CORS. Okay. And then we can enable CORS anywhere in the system. Okay, but before calling any API, we'll have to enable it. Okay, any API. Okay, let's say, yeah, here itself. Okay, because the server is getting started later on. So we'll write server dot use, and in this we'll call CORS function. Okay, it's actually a middleware. So whenever you call it, it will just bypass the server, or by go to the server or not. Okay, now this CORS will basically allow any request. Okay, any request from coming from any domain. Okay, once you enable this, and once you start your application now, okay, and if you try to call, you will see the data is received here. Okay, you will see the medicines. Okay, you can see in the network call as well, the, so let's say refresh synapse, you can see the medicines API, and here you will see in the preview the data is received, and the data is in actually the medicines. Okay, so that's how you can call the API. Okay, and once you receive the data, you can now do whatever you want to do. Okay, so if I want to uh, add it inside this UL, so first of all, I will get this element. Okay, so let's get it on a global level. Const UL element equals to document dot query selector, and in this I'll provide the ID, that's medicine list. Now once you receive this data, we know this data is actually inside the data we have a data field, and it's actually array. Okay, so we need to call data.data.forage. Okay, simple forage, and you will receive medicine here, medicine. Now you can use this medicine to create li and append it to the UL. So we'll create the li element equals to document dot create element. Here we'll specify li tag. Okay, in the li dot text contain, we will add our medicine dot name. Okay, it's a medicine name, right? Open this, find medicine name, expiry date, description, and everything. So I'll just use name for now. And once you are done with it, you can add it into your UL element. So UL element dot append child. Okay, and here you can add a line. Okay, so once you add this, you okay, li element, sorry, here li element, in this way if I specify li element. Okay, and here also li element. Okay, save it, and now if you see both of the medicines are displayed. Now it's up to you how you want to display. This is using plain JavaScript. Okay, in the plain JavaScript, you have to build your UI from JavaScript itself. Okay, when you have a array or anything. But if you are using any template engine, you can obviously use a template engine to display it over here. Or in Angular, it will become easier. You can use ng for. Okay, also in React, also you can use for loop here itself. Okay, so that's how you can call an API. So this is a GET API. Okay, if you want to call a POST API, then in that case you can create a form, submit that form. Okay, or else you can simply, let's say, call a function here. We'll define a async function. Okay, post medicine, or and in this I'll just call it for, just simply call it now. I'll specify the medicine name. So what are details will be required to create a medicine? We can check it in the medicine things, and you'll find name, description, and expiry date. Three fields are required, right? So I'll just use name here equals to, okay, and then we will have description equals to expiry date equals to, okay. And this expiry date we can get it using date dot now. Okay, I'll just use the now date. Description, let's say some lorem, and here we can write medicine, okay, something like this. So this is my data. Now I want to post this data. Okay. So to do a post request, you can again use a fetch function. This fetch function, the first parameter is always URL. Okay. So specify the same URL here, which is this one, medicines, because we are going to use the same, comma, you can specify the parameters here. Okay. So here you can specify uh, the method, okay, which method you are going to use. We are going to use post method. So specify post, comma. If you just press control space, you will find all the parameters that you can specify in these options. Okay. We want to specify the body, okay, because this is the body. In the body, you will send the data. Okay. The data is nothing but this name, comma, description, comma, expiry date. Okay. These three fields we will send it. You do, we can specify colon, but the field names and variable names are same, so we can skip that part. Okay. If you call this, okay, you need to again call await, use await. Yeah. Okay. And after that, you have to convert that to a JSON. So write JSON here. Okay. And let's see what data that we will get. Data. Okay. To call it, we can call post medicine. Okay. Save it and let's see what happens. Okay, you will get unauthorized. Okay, because this API is authenticated. Okay, if you remember in the medicine routes, we have added authenticate. Okay, that means this API needs a token. Okay, so we need to provide a token here. How, where can I provide the token? Okay, first of all, we need to get a token for that purpose. Now, to get a token, um, let's open a Postman. Okay. So we have a users slash login post request, and the raw data is email colon was gmail.com. I think password was admin 3 at the rate. I think so. Let's see. And so you got the token. Okay, so I'll just copy this token, and where should I put the token? Okay, now you know the token, we need to specify it as an authorization header. It's a bearer token. Okay, but how is it specified? If you see in the header section, you will find authorization header with key value as bearer space the token. Okay, so it's actually a header. So we need to pass headers here. So you call comma, and if you do control space, you'll find a header section here. Okay, here you can specify the key as authorization. Okay, colon, the token is bearer token, so I'll specify bearer space the token. Okay, so I just pasted the token, and now see whether this works or not. So it says bad request. That means the data is posted. Okay, you can check it in the network call. The data is posted. There is an error. Path name is required. Description is required. Expiry date is required. Okay, I have sent the data. But what is the issue now? Oh, payload data is object. Method is post. यार ये live server about it. The method is post. Okay, the data sent is object. Okay, let's see what's the issue here. Body.
Hi, sir.
Yes,
Sorry to interview, sir. Sir, each time the token will be different, right? And we
each
have
time
to,
token will be
yes,
different. Correct. So you
huh,
have
and
to log in.
we have to copy it to that bear token authorization
Yes,
token
for
part,
that,
right?
I will tell you how we can do it. Okay, if you have a token, you when you do the login, okay,
Uh,
and
uh,
that after login, you can store this token in your local storage. Okay,
okay,
I'll tell you that. Okay, don't worry.
okay, sir. Okay,
Let's first solve this issue.
okay.
Medicines, okay, post and body. This is name, medicine, function, and expiry date. Okay, it's going to be date dot now. So date dot now. Copy. Let's try to save this. Save unauthenticate. Okay, I need to provide the token. Copy. Paste. Send. So this information is created. Let's see what is the issue. From here also you can get the code. Okay. Here you will find a fetch code. In the Postman itself, you can see JavaScript fetch code. Okay. You can see this one. Fetch. Okay. Body, raw body. Oh, sorry. You need to convert that to into a string format, right? So what you need to do is you have it's actually correct name, description, comma, expiry date. What you need to do is you have to convert this into a stringify format. So you can do JSON dot stringify, okay, and here you can do it. Okay, and you need to specify one more header, I guess. Yes, you need to specify content type application slash JSON. You need to specify one more header, that is content type colon application slash JSON, because we are going to send a JSON data. Save it and now see. Okay, it's creating a lot of medicines because this live server is actually continuously refreshes it. Okay, but now if you see, uh, you will see these many medicines are created actually, and all the medicines are fetched now. Okay. So you just need to do one thing. You have to convert this object into a stringify format using JSON.stringify, and you need to specify one more parameter header, content type application slash JSON. Okay, and if you don't know what what fetch function you have to write, you can check it in the Postman itself. When you run this query, okay, you can just here on the right hand side, you'll find a code. You can click on this code and you will find the code related to every things. Okay, there is no Angular code, but yeah, the JavaScript fetch code is there. So you can copy this code from here. You can see the data is same, like JSON.stringify body, the method, then headers. Okay, headers, yeah, It's like new headers, and then it's adding authorization header, then content type. Okay, it's actually an object, and redirect follow and everything. So here also you can see in the fetch function, it is calling this, then the request options, and dot then dot catch. Okay, we can instead of this dot then dot catch, we can use async await. Okay, where we are fetching the data directly using async await. Okay, so that's how you can post. The put is also the same. Instead of post method post, you have to do put here. Okay, the delete is also same. Instead of method post, you have to specify delete here. Okay, by default, this method is get. That's the reason we are not specifying any options here. Okay, but the method is different, then you need to specify options here. And body you can specify like this, headers you can specify like this. If in the get request, if you have a header, if you need to send a header, then in that case you need to specify comma and then the object where you can specify the headers, and authorization header you can specify. Okay, now coming back to the login part. Okay, in the login part, generally, uh, let's say, um, there is a login function. Okay, I'll just create a login function. Function login. Okay, this login function will, let's say, accept email and password. It's async because it's a API call. Okay, now how will we call it? So we'll call await. It's const equals to. Then in await, we will call fetch function. In the fetch function, the URL will be http://localhost colon 4000 and then /user/login. Okay. Now in this we need to also send the data it in a this format. Okay, so now we won't be having any headers. We will be having headers, but there won't be any authorization header. Okay, because for login we don't need authorization header, but we need content type application/json. Okay, and we are going to pass email and password in our post body. Okay, now this will call the API. Okay, once it calls the API, okay, you will get the response here, data equals to await response.json. Okay, and let's print the data here, console.log data. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, so if I do login with, let's say, invalid email ID. Okay, so email ID is something over 1@gmail.com, comma, password is also, let's say, invalid password. Okay, so my email ID was morefriends@gmail.com and password was admin123 @. I'm entering both as invalid and see what happens. Okay, I'll just comment this one as well and see in the login what happens. I will inspect. Okay, in the console, you'll see invalid email or password. Okay, that's because in the network call also you will see login. Okay, the email ID and password are invalid. Okay, but here the message is printed on line number 51. That's here. Okay, so that means you will get the message and it will be printed here. So you can use this message to display it on alert or tooltip or something like that. Okay, you can put a alert box as well. Okay, to display this message. Okay, so using this message you can display. Okay, but how can you verify that the message is means there is an error or not? Okay, that you can verify by using response.status. Okay, when you receive a response, so you can write response.status. Okay, the status will give you the status code. Okay, so it's actually 400 status code. Okay, so when we say the status code apart from 200 or 201, okay, if there is any other status code where like 400 or 500, that means there is an error. Okay, so in that case you can write you can deal with it. Okay, like if you have a if response.status, okay, is not equals to 200, or response.status is not equals to 201, because 201 is used for created, right? So that's also a successful response. Okay, if it is not, then we will display the error. Okay, like here console.error, okay, with let's say status code and all. Okay, and let's say here display.message, data.message or anything else, we can do our part. Okay, so here we can display the actual data. We have an error, so it will be displayed as an error. So you can see it's in a red color. Okay, 400 message. Okay, you can take this message and display anywhere. Okay, now if you enter a correct email ID, okay, and correct password, okay, let's see what happens. You will get a successful response. Okay, so you will get successful response, and it's on line number 52. Oh, why it is coming on line number 52? Status is 200. Ah, I'm using this condition as well. So for now, I'll keep it aside. Okay. So you can see in the 54 line, you will see login successful and you will receive the token. Now, what you can do with this token is, okay, you don't need to enter the token hard coded here, right? So what you can do with this token is you can store this token on local storage. Now, where is this local storage is? Okay. If you go to the application tab here, okay, in the applications tab, you will find a local storage. For every website there is a local storage. Okay, we can store any like data here. Okay, any type of data that you want. Okay, which is not in like insecure data. Okay, now here I can store it using local storage dot set item. Okay, and I'll say token comma, okay, and data dot token. It's actually in data dot token, right? In the data we have a token. Okay, that token will be stored in a storage. Okay, if you save it and go to the application tab, you will find token is stored here. Okay, when you do the logout, you have to remove this token. How we can remove it? We can call local storage dot remove item. Okay, in the remove item, just specify the key name, so it will be removed. Okay, so this way you can remove the token on logout. Now once you do this, now how we can use this token here? So here we can use the token, okay, by using, I'll use a template string here, okay, and local storage dot get item, okay. In the get item, you can specify the key name, that is token, okay. So in this way, we can get the token from the local storage. And now, okay, I'll just comment this login part and use post medicine, okay. It will create medicine lot of time, but see, okay, I'll just can check in this. Okay, you can see the API is getting called and lot of medicines are getting created. You can check it in the Mongo sh use user ep dot medicines. So see, there are a lot of medicines created. Okay, so this way you can store it in the item token, and then we can now, like token, we can store any kind of data in the local storage. Okay, if you need that data on a front end side, you can store it in the local storage. Local storage has around 5 MB of data. It means you can store 5 MB of data, up to 5 MB of data in the local storage. Okay, now this local storage will not go away even if you close the tab, okay, and or close the window as well, and again comes back here. Okay, refresh, inspect. If you go to the application tab, you will find in your local storage the token is still there. Okay, so token will not local storage will not go away. Okay, unless and until you clear the cache. If you clear the cache, then this token will be removed. Okay, or else you can manually clear it from here. You can just remove this item, select this item and remove it, or clear all the local storage. Okay, you can use session storage as well. Session storage is actually just for that particular session. That means after user closes the tab, okay, or after user closes the window, okay, then the session will be destroyed, okay, and your entire whatever you have stored in the session storage will be destroyed. Okay, obviously if you do the um, clear cache, that will also destroy the session. Okay, so whatever is stored in the session storage will be destroyed as soon as you close the tab or close the window. Okay, but local storage will not delete it. Okay, local storage will remain there as long as you don't clear the cache. Okay, so that's how you can store the data in local storage. Okay, this we can use it in anywhere. Okay, whether it is if you require it in a Angular or React or anywhere else, you can use this method. Okay, to store the token in the front end. Okay, understood everyone how to integrate the APIs? Okay, don't worry. Don't write it now. Okay, I'll send the code. Okay, you can try it out later on. Okay, but don't use this live server. Rather, you can run it on a separate server or create a separate node server as well. That is also fine. Okay. If you do that in a node server, but don't do it on like directly dragging and dropping this index.html file here like this. Okay. If you do that and inspect, okay, in the network tab, you'll find that, okay, where is it? If you refresh, okay, you find the API is getting called, okay, but that is not a real world, okay, because you'll not they see that course and everything errors, okay. Right now the course is allowing everyone, okay, so you'll see uh, every API is getting called from any URL, okay. So you should do it through server itself, okay. So what you can do is you can create a node server here and serve this index.html file through that server. Okay, it's simple, you know, right? You can simply create a server.js file here. Okay, and then you can response HTTP module, then require, we don't need express for this. Okay, HTTP dot create server. Okay, now in this server, you can write request comma response. So create a server, so I'll write it in a variable, and here then we call response dot send file. Okay, then simply call response dot send file underscore underscore dir name plus your dot slash index dot html file. Okay, and then response dot end. We do this, and once done, call server dot listen. Okay, and then you can listen on some different port. Let's say 5000. Here I'll say is running at colon slash slash localhost colon 5000. Okay, you can run it like this as well. Okay, this will also work. Okay, but here in this case you need to run it on a separate tab. You can say separate terminal tab. You can go to front end. Okay, and then use node server.js. Okay, address in use 5000 port is already in use, so I'll use 3000. Now if you go to this localhost colon 3000, sorry, in HTTP module we can't do response.send file. Okay, we have to use express for this. Okay, in HTTP module it's not possible, right? It's correct. Okay, so we need to use express for this. That's fine. You can use npm I express here. You can use express, and then create a server using this express and call server like express here. Okay, and then express dot sorry, server dot get. Okay, and this will say slash. You don't need end for this. Now if you run, the server is running. Let's refresh, and you will see uh, this file. Okay, now main.js is basically will not be able to load it. Okay, because it says 404 not found. Okay, that's because this is main.js file. Okay, you cannot include that in index.html. Okay, because we have to make this any folder public, and then you will be able to access it, because by default Node.js Express doesn't allow any file access like from anywhere. You have to make folder public and use JS file there. Or if you need to use indexed main.js, what you can do is you can import it here. Const main equals to require, then slash main. So just import it. Okay. Here the problem would be we will import it here, but the document part will not work. So it's better to use server dot use and then express dot static. Okay. So create a static folder. Okay. Underscore underscore dir name plus slash public. Okay. Let's call it a public folder. Public. Okay. And main.js you can move it here. Okay. Now you can directly use main.js here. Okay, you don't need to write dot slash, save it. Okay, you can remove this main. Now run it, and yes, you will see main.js is included and your API is also called perfectly properly. Okay, so on different servers you can also run the same things. Okay, okay, so I'll provide this code. Don't You don't have to write it now. Okay, so let's see the next topic. Okay, which is streams. Okay, now what is streams and why do we need a stream? So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of stream in plain English? Don't need to consider us in a programming world, just in a plain English. Can you tell me what is stream? Anyone? Flow of what? Flow of anything, correct? Yes. Yes, correct. Okay, see, actually, the stream word in a programming language was introduced like from 70s, 1970s. Okay, when the programming language was introduced. From that time itself, the stream term is there. Okay, now what is a stream and why do we need a stream? Okay, because from start itself, we used to have big files. Okay, and now to serve these big files or serve a huge load of data, okay, you cannot directly load them. Okay, you cannot directly load them on a RAM, because at that time, if you see like 1970s or 80s 90s, at that time you don't used to have a huge RAMs. Okay, we used to have a simple 1 MB or 2 MB of RAM. So okay, that was like huge at that time. Okay, now to store data in that 1 MB, it's going to or to load a file on that. Okay, was a huge task. Now, how we can store, or basically how we can load the data at that point of time. Okay, so that point of time also the stream concept was there. Okay, so Node.js also has a stream concept. Now, like, why do we need a stream, and how it will save us from or how it will boost our performance. Okay, for that, what I will do is I'll create a simple file here. I'll just stop this server first. Okay, I'll create a folder, streams. What I will do is I'll create a big file. Okay, now to create a big file, don't have to write a file. You can just create a simple code here. Okay, let's call it as a index.js. Now in this, use a fs module to create a file, and I'll just go write like 1 lakh of lines into that file. Okay, I'll use const fs equals to require fs module. Okay, now using fs module, we can use fs.write file method to write into a file. But let's get a data first. So I'll use let data equals to, it's a blank for now. I'll use for loop for which index I equals to 0, I less than, see, 100,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs. Let's use 1 crore. Okay, 100 lakhs. Okay, now I'll just concatenate data plus equals to, say, hello node js. Just concatenate this data. Okay, when in a data variable. Once this is done, I'll use fs.write file method. Okay, we'll use asynchronous method. Okay, underscore underscore dir name plus, let's say, the file name data.txt. Okay, and we'll write a data into this, and once done, uh, then we will use error first callback. Okay, if there is an error, we print that error to a log console error here. Then if there is no error, then print console.log write successful. Okay, and here it should be else. This will create a huge file. I'll do one thing. I'll open this stream in a separate VS Code. cd dot dot whole streams. Hmm, where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, index.js. Let's run it. So node index.js. If I run this file, you will see write successful and your data.txt file is created. Okay, if you do the ls here, it's actually Linux or Mac command, ls space hyphen lh, you'll see it's around 124 MB of file, which is a huge file. Okay, when we consider a reading or writing to a file. Now let's do one thing. We will create a server here. Okay, by using simple HTTP module. So server.js const http equals to require HTTP. And we'll use fs module to read from a file. So I'll use const fs equals to require fs. Okay. Now let's create a server. Server equals to http dot create server. In this, I'll add a request response, and I'll start the server by using server.listen. Let's call it on 3000 port. Console.log server is running at localhost colon 3000. Okay, So server started on localhost colon 3000. Now in this listener, I'll read the file. So you can use fs.read file. Okay, you can call fs.read file here. In this fs.read file, you will specify the path of the data.txt. So underscore underscore dir name plus slash data.txt. Okay. Now this will call using callback function. So it will be error first callback. There will be data. Okay, and if there is an error, then we will simply log that error, console.log error. If there is no error, then we will send that to response.send. Okay, send it. So write, and we are using HTTP model. Okay, so it's a write data and then response.end. Load is response.end at the end. Now, just like whenever a user comes to localhost colon 3000, we will run this callback listener. Okay, once the callback listener runs, you are reading a file and you are printing it on the browser. Whatever the content is read, we are printing that on a browser. Okay. Now, what will happen if I do like this? Okay. So, if you remember, Node.js or JavaScript is a single threaded language. Okay. And we are doing a synchronous operation here. So, in the synchronous option, we are reading from a file. Okay. So, once a request comes, server will start serving this request and it will start reading the file and start serving that file to the browser. Okay, and let's see what happens if we do this. So we'll do node server.js. Okay. So it's running on localhost 3000. Now what I will do is I will open application monitor. Okay, in your case what you can do is you can open your task manager. Okay, in my Mac we have application monitor. In Linux you can use top command to display all the processes. I'm also doing I want to search for node process. Okay, so I'll search for node. Right now you will see there is one node process running, which is nothing but your server. Okay, we just started a server, so that server is running now. Okay, if you want to confirm it, I'll stop the server and now check. Okay, it will go away. Yeah, so it's gone. Okay, the process is gone. That means your server because you stopped the server. Now let's start it again and you will find the node process here. Okay. Now you can see it's taking around 13.8 MB. Okay. And now let's do one thing. Let's go to this HTTP colon localhost 3000. As soon as I went here, you will see in the monitor, it's actually crashed. Okay. While serving, it crashed. But you can see the memory utilization. You can see it's using 138.9 MB. That too for 124 MB file. Okay. Now as you can assume like previously it used 13.8 MB and 124 MB. So it took around 130.9 MB. Okay. And you can see that your application is crashing. Okay. That's because you are trying to serve the entire file. What Node.js here doing is it is taking the entire content of the file into the RAM and then it is trying to serve it. Okay. Now this is just 124 MB file. Imagine if the file is in GBs. Okay. You only have 8 GB of RAM or 4 GB of RAM. Okay. You can't serve such a huge file. So how can we reduce this? How we can make it performant or how we can serve the file? Okay. So for this purpose, by the way, do you understood? Everyone understood what is the problem here? Yes. And still, see, still it is using 139 MB. Okay. That's because your file is loaded on the RAM. Okay. It's still not removed. So when you stop the server, it will be removed from the memory. Okay. So you can see it is loading the entire file into the RAM, and then that file is getting served. Okay. Now, if you want to reduce or if you want to utilize low memory, okay, how we can do that? Yeah, for doing that, you can use stream for that purpose. Okay, how we can use stream? I'll just copy this code and comment it out. And here, instead of using fs.read file, okay, what we will do is we will create a stream from your fs module. So we can write fs dot create read stream. So we are creating a read stream. What this read stream will do is it will not load the entire file into the RAM. It will load data in byte by byte or like chunk by chunk. Okay. So you just need to specify path here, file path, txt. Okay. And this will is something like to compress the. Is this something like to compress the file, sir? No, we are not compressing the file. What we are doing is we are instead of sending the entire file content, we just want to send the uh, data part by part. So like load the data in some chunks like bytes, okay, and then send the data directly to the browser. Browser will take care of loading the data, but the server will only send data in a chunks. Okay, it will not. Now what is happening right now is the server is loading the entire file into the RAM, and then that file is serving to the client. Okay, but what we want to do is, because if we do this, the server will become overloaded. Okay, if the file size is huge. So what we want to do is, when the server is loading the file, what it will do is it will just read the file chunk by chunk. Okay, once the chunk is read, it will send that to client. Then again next chunk will be read and it will be sent to the client. Okay, this way you will always maintain a low memory. Okay, let's see how that happens. So to do that now, you have to create a read stream. So what this read stream will do is it will just read a data. There will be a pipe or stream is created. Okay, now through that stream is created between your file and your server. Okay, so the previously what it used to do is there was no stream, so entire file was loaded onto the RAM. Now there is a pipe is created. From one end of the pipe, the data is getting fed. Okay, like input data is fed from the one end of the file. Then on the other end of the file, the data is read. Once the data is read, it will be sent to the client. The next chunk of data is read, then it will be sent to the client. Next chunk of data is read, then it will be sent to the client. Like there is a open connection. From that connection, we are reading a data in a buffer or in a chunk, and then we are sending it. Instead of taking the entire file, we are opening a connection, opening a stream. Through that connection or stream, we are just uh, fetching the data part by part. Okay, so here also this read stream, create read stream, what it will do, it will create a stream or connection. From that stream, we want to read a data. Okay, so let's say the stream will return an object like this stream object. Okay. Now, how will you read from the stream object? Now, stream, as I told you, it creates a connection, or it creates a pipe. Okay. So you need to call stream dot pipe. There is a method, pipe method. Okay. Now, in this pipe method, what you are going to write? Okay. We want to write this data on response, right? Previously, we used to write response.write. So you want to print that to a browser. So we'll write res here. Okay. So what this will do is it will create a pipe between your response, okay, or the whatever you are going to write onto the browser, and your stream, or you can say the file. Now through this pipe, the data will be read in a part. Okay. Now let's see how this will affect or how this will improve our performance. So I'll run the server. I'll go to the monitor. Okay. And we'll find my node is running. It is taking around 14.1 MB. Let's refresh the page, and now you will see the memory will increase, but not much. Okay, you can see 24 MB. It is taking very low memory. Okay, because it's, you can see it will increase, decrease, increase, decrease. Okay, but you can see that it will not, it is not taking the entire file into the RAM. Okay, it is not taking the entire file into the memory. It is just reading chunk by chunk and then sending that chunk to the client. Okay, so this way, see, the memory is reduced again, so it will just increase, reduce, reduce. So it's like buffer, whatever the buffer is taken into the RAM, it will just read it and send it to the client. And you can see my application is not crashing. Okay, previously it crashed, but now it is not crashing. Okay, it obviously depends on your this as well, like, because I'm serving the entire file, server and client, everything is running, and I have a lot of applications running. You can see my memory is very low. Okay, so it depends on your memory as well. But as you can see, the memory utilization is very low when you use streams. Okay, so that's how the streams will make your uh, or make your application performant. And now you can see that if another client comes, you have a memory to serve that client. Okay, if you just serve a single file right directly, like using read file, then in that case the entire memory, if the memory is getting consumed by one client, the other client will not be able to serve. Okay, so now the memory is utilization is low, so your server can serve another client as well. Okay, so understood how the streams will help you. Okay, great. ठीक, try this out. Okay, so this is actually a readable stream. Like when we create a read stream, it will read data from using a stream. So similarly, we have a writable stream as well. We need to create a write stream object. Okay, now using this write stream object, we can write into that stream. Okay, but you can also create your own stream. Okay, you can also create your own stream. We will see that how to create your own stream. Okay, but first do this, then I'll we will see. If you want to create a huge file, I'll just open this code as well. Okay. Make sure you're using a low number, because the you might face some problem by creating this huge file if your memory is low. No, you don't need to install HTTP. HTTP is already an inbuilt module. Then, okay, but what about others? Okay, okay, sure. So that's how the streams will help you for like consuming a less memory. Okay. Now, if you want to create your own stream, okay, this create fs.create stream is already an inbuilt stream. Okay, there are actually some inbuilt streams available, and actually we are using that. There is nothing but console.log is actually a stream only. Okay, it actually uses one inbuilt stream. Okay, I'll create a separate file for that. Let's say demo. Okay. Uh, uh, we are already using. Okay, there is a process.std out. Okay. This is already output stream. Okay, so when you do process dot std out dot write, let's say hi. Okay, so the what this do is if you run this, it will write it into a console. Okay? If you do run node demo.js, okay, you'll see hi printed here. Okay, there is a percent printed because actually there is no new line character added. Okay, if you add backslash n, then the new line character will be added and you'll see the percentage removed. Okay, so this write method, okay, console.log actually uses this process.stdout.write method. Okay, in internally it uses this method to write into. Okay, this std out is your write stream. So as we have std out as a write stream, we also have a read stream. Okay, so we can use this process.std in. Okay, and we can write read method. Okay, so what this will do is it will read from the console. Okay, so you need to type something and then it will read it. Okay, you can write node.js and let's say hello. If you do the hello, once you hit enter, then it will stop. Then it has read something, right? It has read from the your console. Okay, but if you want to see both of them in action, what you can do is you can pipe std in to std out. Okay, see on the pipe, on one end we have a input and on another end we have a output. Okay, so you always start with in. Okay, because you always read from any source. Okay, so we are actually reading from the console, then we use pipe. Okay, so this will create a pipe between your input stream and output stream. Okay, so it's std out. Okay, so what will happen here is, so if you run this code, you will see it is actually stopped. Okay, if you can write hi, and if you hit enter, you will see hi is printed again. Okay, that means what it is doing is it is reading from the input stream, that is from your console, and then it is writing to a again to a your output stream, and that output stream is nothing but your console only. So when I do hello or anything and hit enter, it again prints that thing. So it is reading and then writing again back to the console. That's the reason you see it is printed here. Okay. So these are the inbuilt streams that you can see. Okay. But what if you want to create your own custom stream? Okay. Now, if you want to create there are basically four types of streams. One is readable, writable, then transformable, and this duplex. Okay, a duplex type of stream is very complex and it is not used that much. Okay, means like you don't have to create duplex kind of stream that much, but yeah, you can use the create readable, writable streams, and that is also very rare. Okay, but if you in future, if you want to create a readable stream on your own, okay, so how we can create it? Let's see that. So if I'll create a, let's say, readable stream.js. Okay, To create a stream, we have to use a streams package. Okay? There is stream package, you have to use stream package. Now from this stream package, we can destructure whichever stream we want to get. Okay, so if we want to create a readable stream, we will use readable class. Okay, now using this readable class, we will create a readable stream. So const readable stream equals to new readable. Okay, so this will create a readable stream. Now on this readable stream, we have to override one method called as underscore read. Okay, this is nothing but a simple blank function, you can say. It's a blank function. You don't have to do anything, you just assign a blank function. This is necessary, otherwise it will throw errors for you. This is necessary for writing or reading. Okay, now how are you going to read? Okay, now you always read through readable stream by using readable.push method. Okay, so whatever is sent into this push method is actually a read. Okay, so if I send hi and new line character. Okay, so it will there will be hi sent to your read stream. Okay, if you run this, you will not see any output because it is reading hi, but it's not printing anything. So if you run this, yeah, node readable stream like this, you'll not see any output because this is reading. It has read hi, but how do you know that it has read I or hi or not? Okay, for this, what we will do is we will pipe this readable stream to our output stream, that is our process dot std out. Okay, now std out, what it will do, it will output to our console, right? So whatever has been read should be outputted to our console, right? So let's see, will see high printed here. That means it has read high, and backslash n also because it's coming to the new line character. Okay, new line by using new line character. That means you can push to a stream or read content by using push method. So whatever you push into the stream will be stored as into a readable stream. Okay, and once you send this or pipe this to some output stream, it will be sent to that part. Okay, you can do it in multiple times. Okay, like if you want to send multiple data, you can also do like this. So it will put the same thing. You can see hi and hello will be printed here. Okay. So whatever is pushed into readable stream is there stored into the readable stream. Once you connect it to some output stream, it will print it out, or it will basically send it to that output stream. Right now we are using process.std out. Process.std out, what it does is, we just saw, it will just write it into our console. Okay, so it actually writing whatever there in the reading stream, because we have piped readable stream to writable stream, right? So it will read from this readable stream and write into this console. Okay, that is std out. Okay. Understood how to create a readable stream? Yes. Okay, yeah, then do it. Then we will see writable stream, how to create a writable stream. This function, this overriding function is important. If you don't do that, you will get some error. Read method is not implemented. Okay, so you have to implement this underscore read method. Okay, that's important. Please mark my attendance, sir. It's an emergency. I have to leave now. Okay, no issues. Welcome. Then, okay, good. What about others? Okay, great. And let's say how to create a writable stream. Okay, okay, great. So writable stream we can use to write into any of the stream or any of the output device. Okay, or any output or anything output thing. Okay, so we'll create a writable stream. Create a writable stream. Again, we need to import stream package here. Now, instead of readable, we'll write writable here. Okay. Now you can create a writable stream using const table stream equals to new writable. Writable. Okay. Now writable stream, as we saw in a readable stream has a underscore read method. So in a writable stream, we have underscore write method. Okay. Now this write method basically accepts three parameters. First is chunk, okay, the chunk that we need to write into. Then the encoding part, okay, what encoding we have to use, UTF-8, UTF-425, anything. Then a callback method, which should be called after your write is done. Okay. So here, in the function itself, what you can do is you can use this chunk to do whatever you want to do. Okay. So let's say I want to just print it on a console by saying writing like this plus chunk like this. Okay. And after this, you need to call this callback function, this CP function. Okay. This callback function will be called. Okay. Now this writable stream, if you write, okay, or if you run this writable stream, you will see that no output is printed. Okay, because writable stream requires input. Okay, and we are not sending any input to this writable stream. Okay, so how we can send input to the writable stream? Let's use our console. Okay, so we can use process.stdin to read from the console, and then we can use pipe method to pipe our writable stream. Okay, so what this will do is it will read from the console. Whatever is read from the console will be sent to writable stream, and then it will print writing like this. Okay, so let's see. Now it's stopped because it is waiting for your read. So if I say hi, if you hit enter, you will see writing hi is printed here. Okay, it's because it is sent to writable stream and writable stream is doing its part. Okay, now you can write anything and hit enter, you will see the output there. So that's how you can create a writable stream. If you want to come out of this, you can press Ctrl C. You'll come out of the stream. Understood how to create a writable stream? Okay, great, great. Do this, then we will see the last one, that is transform stream. Yeah, sure, Supriya. If there is any problem, you can leave. Okay, sure, you can. Welcome. Okay, Manu's done. What about others? Okay, great. Yeah, yeah, I will wait. Done? Okay. Jyoti Lakshmi, you're done? Okay, great. Okay, so this is about readable stream and writable stream. Okay, so now we are going to see a transform stream. That stream is actually a duplex stream. Okay, why we call it as a duplex stream? Because readable stream actually just reads the data, writable stream writes the data. Okay, so writable stream always requires a readable stream. Okay, it needs an input. Writable stream reads an input, and readable stream needs output stream where it can output the data. Okay, but the transform stream actually acts as a duplex kind of stream where it can read also or it can write also. Okay, how? Let's see. So I'll create a transform stream here. Stream. And again, we need a stream package here, stream module. So we'll use stream module. And from this, we can use transform method. Okay, transform class. Okay, now you can create transform stream equals to new transform. Okay. It's transform stream. Okay, now if you see the readable stream uses push method to push the data into your stream. Okay, or store the data in your buffer. Okay, while if you see in the writable stream, it uses write method to write the data into the stream. Okay, or into anywhere. Okay, wherever you want to do print it. Okay, now Transform stream uses both of these methods. Okay, push as to read the data and write to write into a data. Okay. So we can now there is no write method. Actually, there is a underscore transform method. We use transform method for this. Okay, and its syntax, the function syntax is exactly the same that we have for writable stream. That is chunk, encoding, and callback. So we also have a chunk here, okay, then encoding and callback function. So here in the writable stream, we actually used to write console.log, right? But transform tree stream acts as a readable as well as writable. So whatever is there, okay, we just have to uh, push it. Okay, we can use transform.push, okay, so that it can be read by any output stream. Okay, so whatever the data here will come, what we will do is we will use chunk dot to string. Okay, because the chunk is actually a byte data. Okay, so we have buffer data, so you have to convert it into a string, and then we can use dot to uppercase. So why I'm using, because I want to transform the data. Okay, so whatever the input will come, it will be transformed into a uppercase letter. Okay, and it will be pushed to an output stream. Okay, so we'll call callback function here. If you run this, obviously you are not going to get any error, and not going to get any output. Okay. Now, as I told you, transform stream acts as both ways. Like it can also act in accept input, and it can also send a output. Now, transform stream needs an input, right? So we can send the input using process.std in, where we will input the data through console, and then we'll use pipe for this, where I'll specify my transform stream. Okay. Now we know transform stream acts as an input as well as output. So it will take an input from std in, and then it will pipe its input to the writable stream. We can use process.std out. Okay. So what it will do is it will collect the data from console, whatever we type it to the console. It will take the data as input. Okay, and that data will be converted back to uppercase. Okay, and will be sent as a input to the output stream, that is std out. Okay, by using this push method. Okay, by using this push, like when you do pipe, okay, so it will, the data will come into this chunk. Okay, so in this chunk we are converting it into uppercase and we are pushing it into the stream. That means we are pushing it to the next stream. Okay, that is our output stream. So in the output stream we are printing it in the console. So what you will see here is, if you run this, if I type hi, okay, let's say in a small letters, so if you enter, your hi will be converted into uppercase. Okay. If you type hello, your entire text will be converted into uppercase and will be printed out into the console. Okay. So that's how the transform stream. The transform stream can be used in between. Okay. So they will take the input from input stream, convert it, transform it, and send that back, create a new data onto the output stream. Okay. Understood this transform stream? We'll see one example of this transform stream. Okay, but this is understood. Okay, great. Do this, then we will see one example of this transform stream. Okay, existing transform streams. Then, okay, dapat others. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's see a day-to-day example which we can you can use it in your applications. Okay, using this transform stream. Okay, so we have a data.txt file, right? So which is a huge file for now. Okay, so it's around 124 MB file. Now, what if you want to save this file in a compressed format? Okay, so you want to compress it. You want to apply compression and then create a compressed file. Okay, how we can do it? So let's use a new file compress.js. So here, I'll use our fs module for reading a file because I need to read the file to compress it, right? So we'll use fs module const fs equals to require fs. Okay. Now this from fs we can create a readable stream, right? Read stream. Okay. We'll need one more library for this to create a compression, that is zlib. Okay. Zlib is a inbuilt library for creating a Node.js inbuilt library for compressing, decompressing, and everything. Okay. Now we'll need a file. Okay, so I'll create a variable here underscore underscore dir name plus slash data.txt. Okay, so this is a file path. Enter. Now we will need a transform stream, okay, to transform it. Okay, actually we don't need a transform stream for now. We will see the example of it later on. Okay, but first of all, let's see how we can compress it. Okay, now first we need to read a file. So we'll write fs dot create read stream. Okay, so we'll create a read stream from our file. Why we are creating a read stream? Because we can't convert that entire file, compress that file. Okay, by we can compress byte by byte. Okay, in a stream. So we can use the file path here. So that's read stream. So once it creates a read stream, we can use pipe method. Okay, to for compression. So we can type zlib. Now this zlib has a method called as create gzip. Okay, so it's actually creating a gunzip. Okay, it creates a gunzip file gzip. Uh, that is .gz file. Okay, the gunzip file is .gz, not zip or 7z. It's a gz file. Okay, so we need to obviously call this function. So this is this create gzip file method. It's actually a transform stream. Okay, what it does is it takes the input from your file, then compresses it and produces the output. Okay, now that output we need to write into a new file. So we'll use that pipe again. Okay, and here we are going to write it to a new file. So we'll use fs dot create write stream. Okay, and this write stream we are going to pass a path for a new file. So I'll specify file, it's the same file, plus I will add dot gz extension. Okay, so I'll add a dot gz extension for this. Okay, now your uh, like compressed file will be created. Okay, let's see. I'll clear it out. Node compress.js. If you hit enter, you'll see your gz file is created here. Okay, data.txt.gz. Let's check the size. ls space hyphen ls. You'll see the where is it is, yeah, this data.txt 124 MB. It is compressed. Actually, it's just a text file, so you can see how much compressed it is. 246 KB. 124 MB file is compressed into 246 KB. Okay, it's just a plain text file. That's the reason the compression is very high. Okay, but in case of images or videos, it will be less. Okay, 124 might be compressed into 100 or 110 MB. Okay, something like that. Okay. But in case of text, you can see how much compressed the file it is. Okay, that's how you can see the compressed file. Okay, but how do you uncompress it? If you want to uncompress the file, how can you uncompress it? Okay, we can again use the same format. Okay, So I'll just copy paste this file, and here I'll say uncompress. Now for uncompress, the input file will be .gz. Okay, and the output file will not include the this. So I'll just copy this, and here I'll specify .txt only, not .gz. Okay, so the output file will be with just txt. Okay. Now here we are reading. Okay. Now instead of create gzip, we will use create gunzip. Okay. So gunzip is like unzipping it. Okay. Gunzip, like G unzip, it's a unzipping. First we were using gzip, so it was zipping it. Now it is unzipping it. Okay. That's it you need to do. Okay. I'll delete this data.txt file. You can see it, there is a hello node.js, node.js, everything is written. I'll delete this file and now run node uncompress this, and you will see data.txt file is again created. Okay, you can do ls space hyphen lh and you will find the same file size is same. Okay, if you open the file, you will see the content is same. Okay, so that's how you can uncompress the file. Okay, by using concept. Okay, so this is how we can use the zlib library to zip it and unzip it. Okay, but when we were doing zipping, okay, it took some time, right? Like if you do a node compress, it took some time, right? Now the file is very small. If it was a GB file, then it would have taken some time, right? So why not show some progress? Okay, how much or just simply like waiting or something like that. Okay. Now for that, what we can do is we can create our own transform stream. Okay. So let's say in a compress, I'll create my transform stream. So I'll use require stream. Okay. And here I'll say transform. I'll use transform stream. I'll create a transform stream. Let's say a progress kind of thing. Progress, okay, equals to new transform. Okay. Transform basically, it has a transform method. Okay, we can specify transform method directly here as an object as well. Okay, or you can use the progress dot underscore transform as well. Okay, that's totally fine. Both the methods can be used. Chunk encoding, and we have a callback function. Now, in this transform stream, what we can do is we can output something, process dot std out, okay, dot write, and we will write, let's say just dot, single dot. Okay. So what this stream is doing is reading from a file, then converting it, okay, and then converted data, it is writing it into a file. Okay. And obviously we need to call back cb, okay, null comma chunk. Okay, whatever the chunk is, we just need to call. Okay. Now what we will do is we will put this transform stream between this. Okay. We'll put progress prior transform stream here. Okay. What this will do is it will read from a file, it will put it into gzip, it will do the compression. Then once the compression is done, it will go to progress and it will print a dot. And then it will go ahead, and now we are passing the chunk over there, right? We are calling a callback function. The chunk data, we are calling callback function, and we are passing that chunk data to next tree. Okay. Okay, sorry, I lost the connection. Till where have you listened? Hello. So you listen to all this content like till end of this thing, or you just or I just dropped in between. We're explaining how will it run till adding chunk part. Till adding chunk part means this part. Till this you have listened, right? Chunk part. Okay, no worries. So I'll explain it again. See, okay, great. See, what we have done is we have what we want to do here is we want to uh, when the data is transforming, okay, we are reading from a file. Once the file is read, you can go to the create gzip. Okay, create gzip. What it will do, it will compress that incoming data. It may be a buffer, byte, anything. Okay, so it will compress the data, and before sending it to the write, okay, what we will do is we will put our own progress transform. Okay, now what this progress transform will do, once it gets the input data, okay, it will print a dot into the console, write a dot into the console, and then whatever the chunk data is, it will just transfer that same chunk to the next route output stream. Okay, and that chunk will be transferred to the create write stream, and it will be returned to the file. Okay, so that way what we can see here is when I run and node compress.js, you will see the printed. So for every read, there is a create compression, a dot is printed, and the write is done. Then for next read, compression is done, dot is printed, and the write is done. Okay, so that's how we can see like we have implemented a simple progress kind of thing by using a transform stream. Okay, now here when you do we can do the same thing in uncompression as well. Okay, the same thing we can type it here after gunzip and create write stream. Okay, the this create write stream also uses event listener, so we can capture one event called as finish event. Okay, so once your writing is done, okay, the finish event will be called, and then you can pass this callback method to be called. So we can say done here. So once your compression is done, okay, writing is done, you can see a done is printed here. Okay, and then it will stop. So that's how you can use a transform stream. Okay, understood everyone? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, so that's it. Do it. Or rather, I'll just send the code. Okay, you can try it on. Okay, so that's it on the Node.js part. Okay, so I've covered everything like from Node, from starting from modern JavaScript features, and we've completed like a lot of modern JavaScript features like variable scopes, hoisting. Then we completed about arrow functions. Okay, we are destructuring REST spread operator promises, async await. Okay, then we also saw about uh, the template strings. Okay, object literals. After modern JavaScript, we came to npm. So we in npm we saw about like how to install the package, what is npm package manager, how we install the package using npm install command, how we can uninstall it using an npm uninstall, how we can install global packages using npm install -g option. Right? Then we also saw about how to create your own package and how to publish it on npm.js registry. Then we saw about npm scripts, okay, start script, okay, test script, the pre-test and everything. Right. After that, we learned about modules, okay, module dependency manager, where we saw like how the modules are created in Node.js, how the event loop happens in Node.js, how the concurrency happens, okay. Then how we can handle the concurrency using event listen, event emitter, okay. Then after that, we also saw about like we created a simple application using Express, okay, Express, and using template, like template expression, right? So we use EJS for that, and template engine, sorry, okay. Using EJS template engine, we have created a simple front end application, CRUD application. Then we moved on to REST APIs. So we have created REST APIs using just in-memory data. Then later we integrated MongoDB into our application using Mongoose. In Mongoose also we saw like how to create a schema, how to create a model, then how to um, find the data, save the data, put, update the data, delete the data using all the CRUD APIs. Okay, using post, put, delete, update. Okay, post, put, delete, and get methods, patch method. Okay, then we after that we also saw about like in Mongoose what we can do. Okay, the validations on the schema, right? Then we can create a virtual method also using Mongoose. We can create a normal method. Okay, so we saw about like how we can um, write or hash the password using bcrypt package manager. Okay, then using bcrypt manager we have a hashed our password, and we have stored that password in our database. For this we use ski mongoose method, right? Then uh, using JWT, we have created JWT tokens, okay, authentication, middlewares, routing, right? So we have done all this stuff. Then authentication using JWT. What is JWT? Okay, and then later on we moved to um, like we actually moved to socket programming. So in that we have done chat application, simple chat application, and we saw like how we socket works. Okay, how we emit the data from server to client and how we capture the data. Okay, it's actually based on event emitter only. Okay, it's just that in the first topic we saw event emitter on the same file itself, but here it will the event will be emitted from server and will be captured on the client, and the same event can be emitted from the client and can be captured by server. Okay. So that's how we saw about socket, and today we saw like how we can integrate our APIs to front end. Okay, using fetch method in a plain JavaScript. If you are using a Angular, then we can use HTTP client service to call this APIs, and then um, the streams, single stream like writable or readable stream, duplex stream like transform stream. That's basic, just a simple example of it. Okay, so that's the end of our journey. Any questions, any doubts, anything that you have here, or if you would like to discuss something. So we have to do only REST API operations with MongoDB, or we have to do authentication file uploads as well. Yeah, we also do upload, right? We have to do authentication file uploads as also. Means where for a final project. For a final project, you can select any project, okay? But make it a simple application where you'll have REST API integration, a REST APIs, file upload. If you want to do, you can do it, okay? But you can use the same APIs in a front-end application where, let's say, if you have done Angular or React or anything else, or any front-end, simple plain JavaScript HTML as well. You can use this REST APIs and create a simple front end application as well. Okay, just try to integrate all these REST APIs into the front end. Okay. Yeah, authentication also you need to do because login registration will be there. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
uh, so there are few concepts like cookies and sessions for
Mhm.
storage of authentication and all. So,
Authentication to we
uh,
saw. Yeah.
yeah,
Storage like
but
we are using database,
cookies
right?
and session storage, yeah,
Cooking. Session storage is a different thing. Like if you are using a front end, so session storage is used that for that purpose, and sessions and cookies. Okay. See, nowadays in a microservice based architecture, we hardly use cookies and session. Cookies are used, but cookies are like they are set on the front end. Okay,
yes,
cookies are generally set on the front end. So in the front end part, you can just use a cookies function. Okay, windows.cookies, window.cookies, and then you can set the cookies. Okay, and on the session part is actually we were doing advanced part. Okay, the token based authentication. See, session
yes,
why it is not used nowadays is like when you create a session ID, right? So that session ID, you have to store it somewhere. You have to store it on your database or into the some file. Okay. Now, see, the Node.js is mostly used for microservice-based architecture, microservice-based applications, where you will see that you will be creating a lot of microservices. Now, when these microservices communicate with each other or they communicate with the front end application, okay. Now, at that time, you have to authenticate for every API. Okay, for every
yes,
API, it will authenticate with the authentication service. Let's say there is an authentication service which is doing authentication. Now, there is a product service, there is email service, there is order service. There are a lot of services out there. Now, all of this service needs an authentication. So when they call the
yes,
authentication API, they they need to send the session ID, right? If they are sending the session ID, what authentication service needs to do is it has to check for every API call. It has to do the database call. If you are storing the session ID into the database, it has to do the
yes,
API database call. It has to check the session ID is correct or not in the database, and then it will do the rest next part. Okay, if you are doing it in the file, then it has to check it in the file. Okay, now this file will become huge when you have a lot of session IDs, lot of users. Okay, then reading from
yes.
that file will be time consuming. Okay, reading from the database is also time consuming. Okay, now for this the token based authentication mechanism is used. Now we just saw like in the JWT token where the tokens are basically generated in the code itself. Okay, and when we want to
Yes,
authenticate them, we use verify method, right? So there itself the token is verified. You don't have to go to the database, you don't have to go to the file to check the
mm,
token. Okay, and token also stores the data, so that
yes,
can be also used to transfer the information as well. Okay,
mm,
so and this token will make your API calls much faster. Okay, because you don't have to call the database, you don't have to read from a file. Okay,
okay, yeah,
so yeah, and also there is one more advantage of using token. If you have multiple services or if you want to do single sign-on, okay, in a single sign-on
mm,
concepts as well, like single sign-on is a concept like if you are when you see that Google login, okay, if you do the login on Gmail, okay, you
yes,
automatically get logged into Google Meet, you automatically get logged into calendar, okay, Drive. This is nothing but a single sign-on.
yes.
These are all different applications, right? So this is like single sign-on. So in the single sign-on, if you are using multiple applications, then you can use the same token in multiple applications, and you can use a single authentication service to manage these multiple applications. Okay, because the token is only
We
managed by
also
one
do,
authentication. Yes.
okay, yeah, but Also, login sessions and all, we keep an expiry, no? That's why I was asking.
Yeah, we can
Like
keep an
after a few,
expiry on session as well. Session ID, yeah. But you can see that when you have to say set an expiry, you have to set that expiry date separately on the database, or you
mm,
can encode that in a string. Okay, that string itself you can add an expiry date. Okay, but
mm.
again that you have to do the database call for that purpose, right? But
Okay,
in
so now
case of
JWT
token,
replaced those things.
yeah, to JWT, we can store the expiry date in the JWT token itself. Okay, and it
Mm,
obviously tells you whether the token is expired or not.
mm. Okay.
Okay, and in some cases you have to like to make your application secure. Okay, then in that case, you have
Yes.
to refresh your token or refresh your session IDs in periodic interval of time, right? So if you are setting a
Yes.
1 hour, and then after 1 hour you have to refresh your session IDs. Okay, so token can be
Yeah.
refreshed automatically, right? So you don't have to do the separate database call for that, right? You can put a expiry date and you can
Mm,
generate a new refresh token.
okay.
Since you can do in Node.js, there is no use Express. If you go for Express.js, if you need to do a sessions, okay, in uh, anywhere, you can go to expressjs.com, their documentation, and here uh, you'll find one. Just a minute. In our resources, I guess. Just a minute, let me check. There is a package for Express session packages. You can use session middleware for that. Express session package. Okay. Using this,
Yes.
you just have to import this Express session package, and then you get the session.
Mm,
Now, you can also store the session into the file. Okay, or else you can generate a session and then you can store that session. Like you can, it also the code is similar to your token based. Okay, you can just call a session function. You can keep a secret key. It will generate a token. It's like ID for you. And here also you can set
yeah.
a cookie secure for secure purpose. Okay, and you can
Okay.
use session for this. Okay, you can just see the, you can also generate a UUID using session token. Okay, this generates a ID,
Yeah.
but again, this whatever the ID is generated, you have to store it somewhere. Okay,
Yes.
this will
Yes.
just generate a session to ID, but that ID you need to store it somewhere, either into database or into some file.
We can keep it for a temporary period of time, and then after some time we can let it get deleted by
Yes, we
by
can delete it as
automation.
well. Yes, you can delete it by automation as well, but this express session, I guess it gives you expiry also. So you can see the cookie expires, but it will be stored in the cookie. Okay, so on a front end you will set the expiry date, but that will be set as a cookie. A max age parameter is there. Using that expire,
Yeah.
it will automatically get expired. Okay, so do need to store that expiry date in our backend. Okay, I guess
Yeah.
there is option here, expires option. You need to set max age parameter. Session.cookie max, and then it will set the session. Okay.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. Any more questions?
So for more exercise or practice, what can we refer? Because we
For
definitely need
X,
more practice and all.
See, Node.js gives you
So Node.js,
one, if you
modern
go
JavaScript.
modern JavaScript related features, now you can check it in the uh, Mozilla site. Okay, they have a
MDN.
MDN, MDN,
Yeah,
yeah, developer.mozilla.org site. Here you will
yeah.
find the entire JavaScript related features. Okay, you can go to the guides and JavaScript guide. So you will find the entire JavaScript tutorial or everything. Okay, the everything related to is like they have properly documented everything. Okay, so if you want to learn JavaScript related fundamentals, you can learn it from here. There is also one more, I guess, JavaScript info site. I guess so. JavaScript.info. Okay, this is also a good website. Okay, so you can actually but like both, like for front end. Okay, we have a document, events, and interface. Okay, they are also divided into modules, sections. Okay, so here also it's good. Okay, and they are providing, like, the documentation is huge for this. Okay, JavaScript info. There is also one more site, I guess, JavaScript tutorial, I think so. This, I don't remember that site name. Let's see. My internet is
Java Point.
slow. Java Point is a Java Point is
What
for
is
it, like,
Java
for
Point?
different. JavaScript tutorial.net.
Okay.
JavaScript tutorial. Also, every scripts are JavaScript, and this is also JavaScript. So these two are good sites, and even the MDN documentation is also good for JavaScript. Okay. And
Okay.
for Node.js, what you can do is you can go to nodejs.dev site. Okay. Here you can click on this learn node, and they have a step-by-step documentation of Node.js. Okay. You can also run code in a, they have providing ID here. You can code in ID. Okay. They have launched in
Oh, sir,
here
can't hear you.
itself. It is hello.
It was too
Hello.
much disturbance in middle.
Actually, internet is. I'm using my mobile internet. The internet
Okay.
is slow.
Okay. No issues. If there is anything, we'll ping you on the chat.
Hello.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So these are the websites like Java tutorial, JavaScript tutorial.net. Okay, I'll send it in a link. All these links here. Last date for project submission. Let's always consider 1 week after your last lecture.
Okay.
You can use JavaScript info.net, and this is also the MDN site. It's also good for JavaScript. Okay. For Node.js, what you can do is Node.js itself provides you the learning documentation. So Node.js.dev site, you can go it and just go to the learn section, and they have like step by step documentation. But this is like from basic to advanced, and there are a lot of advanced concepts are also there. Okay, you can go through them later on. Okay, but you can just go through this website for Node.js. Okay, they have also written some down some detailed documentation here. Okay, how to learn, getting started, and everything. So for Node.js, you can refer nodejs.dev website. Okay.
Yeah.
And for Express, also you can find getting started. This is a basic getting started. Okay, but it's enough to learn Express. Okay, But Express is just a basic framework. Okay. In real world in projects, you might find that some are using some advanced frameworks which are actually based on Express. Okay. So the concepts will be same everywhere, but they will be somewhat advanced frameworks. Okay. So most popular frameworks are this Loopback,
I
then
heard some about loopback,
Nest.js,
sales, and Nest.js.
Sales, and Nest.js. These are some popular frameworks. Okay.
Yeah,
So you can go through this. Means you can go ahead with these frameworks, Loopback or Nest.js and Sales as well.
yeah,
Okay. And if you go for Nest.js, now Nest.js is actually uh, similar to Angular because if you know Angular, you will be able easily be able to
to
adapt to
trust it.
Nest.js. Yes.
Okay.
Simple to integrate Node.js with Angular. If you are on Angular batch, I will obviously tell you. Okay. Have you done Angular, Jatilakshmi? Because
So even my Angular is done.
okay, if your Angular is done, then I can show you. Okay.
Yeah,
But not now. Actually, it's late.
yeah, it's
So
good for
let's
now.
take one half an hour or 1 hour lecture, and then I will tell you. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll tell you the timing. So today is Wednesday. Let me check. So tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Okay, let's do it tomorrow, 7
yeah.
to 8. Okay.
Sir, sir,
Yes,
do we have to integrate this Node.js with the Angular project we have done, or just the Node.js?
you can. You
Okay,
can.
okay, sir.
It's up to you.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, then. Sure. We'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll connect again. Okay. For connection, Angular and Node.js connectivity. Okay. And let's stop here. Same time only. Yes. But it will be like 1 hour lecture, not more than that. Okay. I'll just tell you like how we can integrate APIs with Angular. Okay. Rest, I think you can do it because you know Angular, then you can do it. Okay. Great. Welcome and welcome all. All the best. Let- We are going to meet tomorrow. That's not a problem. Can you take it at 8? Actually, it will become a late. Uh, if possible, can you join at 7:30? I'll take it from 7:30 to 8:30. Okay, no worries. I'll take it from 7:30 to 8:30, not 7. Okay, I'll send the invite, calendar invite. Don't worry. Okay, so then, bye. Take care, guys. Good night. Welcome.